saying it respectfully, I don't know how teams are going to guard us.
Nobody gives a flying frog's fat you-know-what about the Phoenix Suns. We don't care.
Respectfully, I don't see how teams will defend against us, and frankly, no one cares about the Phoenix Suns. 2 years ago, Match Bia acquired the Suns and fully committed to his lineup by trading for Kevin Durant. He further deepened his commitment by depleting his bench to bring in Bradley Beal, yet this has turned into an absolute fiasco, highlighted by a first-round exit to the Minnesota Timberwolves. For some unknown reason, the Suns chose to stick with the same core, resulting in more disappointing outcomes, and now significant changes are imminent. Bradley Beal and Yusuf Nurkic are missing games, and things are about to get very chaotic. Before diving into the content, please like, subscribe, and enable notifications for the latest NBA updates on your device. Now that's out of the way, let's cue the intro. I've been using this method consistently to earn a lot of money, just like with Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes. What's up, everyone? The Phoenix Suns have emerged as one of the most disappointing Big Threes in recent times. In fact, they might rank among the worst Big Threes in history. Ever since they combined Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal with Devin Booker, which was initially seen as a brilliant move to unite three of the top scorers in the league, the Suns have been on a downward trajectory since their finals appearance with Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton. Now, after a season that saw them swept in the first playoff round, they began this season with a 16-19 record, only winning their last 2 games. It's clear that we're far removed from that original Devin Booker interview where he confidently stated he didn't see how teams could guard them. However, before we criticize them too harshly, it's worth acknowledging that combining 3 players capable of scoring like they do was virtually unprecedented. It's easy to overlook, but Bradley Beal had 2 consecutive seasons averaging over 30 points per game. Unfortunately, things haven't panned out this way since Suns owner Matt Ishbia acquired the team in December 2022 for an astounding $4 billion. Before exploring what the future may hold for the Suns, it's essential to reflect on how they ended up in this predicament. I mean, seriously, what went wrong? This could be a bold perspective. It's no longer a secret that player empowerment has dominated the league in recent years, but that won't stop us from sharing some blunt truths now that this era seems to be winding down sooner than we anticipated. One could argue that this phase is among several factors contributing to the NBA's decline in viewership, a topic we explored in depth in our last video, which I believe is one of our best efforts on this channel recently. This isn't meant to take away from a player who is undoubtedly one of the most talented pure scorers in the game's history, but it's hard to ignore the impact that both LeBron James and Kevin Durant have had on this situation. After all, Durant has been involved in 4 notable Big Threes, with all except the Warriors falling short. We all recall the end of his tenure with Westbrook in OKC, how his time with the Warriors concluded, and the way his stint with the Nets unraveled. It feels like just yesterday that his latest attempt at forming a super team began in Phoenix, and to be honest, it was just yesterday. Neither Kevin Durant nor Bradley Beal has even been with the Suns for 2 years, and during that period, the team has already gone through 3 head coaches. The first, Monty Williams, had recently led the Suns to the finals and was named NBA Coach of the Year. The second person, Frank Vogel, actually previously succeeded in winning the NBA championship with the Lakers in the bubble, and yes, that championship is recognized. While I don't intend to go off on a tangent regarding how Kevin Durant might be considered a coach killer, it's evident that he plays a crucial role in the current situation regarding the Suns. In the 6 years since leaving the Warriors, Durant has interacted with his 6th different head coach and managed only 2 playoff series victories. Despite being an incredible talent like none before, it is becoming somewhat ridiculous. Nevertheless, everyone was eager to put last year's playoff sweep behind and concentrate on the upcoming second year with the Big Three. The Suns hired future Hall of Fame coach Mike Budenholzer to a 5-year deal to see if he could steer them back to the top of the Western Conference. Fans worldwide thought he would demonstrate that the Suns' issues stemmed from coaching rather than their players, but that hasn't been the case. At the time of this video, the Phoenix Suns are 19-19, placing them 11th in the West, despite winning 4 of their last 5 games. When watching them, they appear quite disjointed, but just to clarify, I'm not criticizing Kevin Durant. He has been playing exceptionally well, even by his own standards. The man is 36 years old and currently ranks 5th in the league for points per game. If not for LeBron's remarkable defiance of Father Time, the focus would be on Durant's exceptional performance. However, the reality is that if the season concluded today, the Phoenix Suns wouldn't even make the play-in games. Book recently addressed this after a loss to a Memphis team lacking John Morant. The expression on Book's face and his tone suggest he doesn't have a very hopeful perspective on his team's prospects. What's the level of frustration or urgency for you all at this moment? The frustration level is significant. We're all competitive here, aware that these losses will impact our standing by season's end. We need to handle our responsibilities early, ideally before the All-Star break, as things get tougher later on, and injuries could strike at any moment. Thus, we aim to gain traction, escape the play-in scenario, and win every game possible. Interestingly, if you examine the nuances of this situation, you might discern the actual source of blame. Is it the players, the coach, the GM, or could it possibly be that their roster is tailored for an NBA era that is fading? Or has ceased to exist, and it's a valid inquiry worth considering since, as of now, many of us are wondering where the Suns go from this point, as their predicament places them in a state of basketball limbo. It's encouraging to see they are at least attempting to rearrange some elements in hopes of reviving their faltering season. Just this week, they opted to not only bring Draymond Green's close friend, Jusuf Nurkic, off the bench, but also feature Bradley Beal. While one might speculate this was mainly to restore some equilibrium in the lineup, you generally don't bench a player earning as much as Beal. Rumors suggest the Suns have also faced their own share of locker room discord, including an incident where Beal was displeased with how nonchalantly Booker and Durant seemed to be handling yet another defeat. Even though he is being benched, it seems reasonable, as for a team struggling so dramatically, their situation is exacerbated by their salary cap constraints and a lack of future resources. At present, they are paying Kevin Durant $100 million over 2 years, Beal over $150 million for the next 3, and Booker over $200 million for the subsequent 4. Additionally, they do not possess a single first-round pick until 2031 due to having traded 4 of them, along with Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson, to acquire Durant initially. Compounding these issues is that Bradley Beal, the most likely of the trio to be traded, holds a no-trade clause in his contract. This suggests that he must consent to any trades made on his behalf, which may have been why the Phoenix Suns recently chose to bench him, attempting to inspire him to embrace a relocation. Regardless of perspective, it's clear that the Suns are in urgent need of reflection. Many speculate they may need to completely dismantle the team. This was a notion we brought up during the previous offseason, but rather than trading away Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal to reclaim their assets, the Phoenix Suns opted to apply a temporary fix by hiring coach Mike Budenholzer and targeting a legitimate point guard in Tyus Jones. However, unless they unexpectedly begin winning games with their current lineup, the entire situation appears to be beyond repair. Amid the various reports circulating, the confusion seems to have escalated unnecessarily. Initial reports hinted that Beal might have effectively blocked a trade that would have transferred him to Miami in a deal involving Jimmy Butler. Yet, since being benched, Beal has reportedly indicated he would be open to waiving his trade clause if the trade were to the aforementioned Heat, Lakers, or Nuggets. However, Brian Windhorst later presented a surprising update from Beal's actual agent, stating that waiving his trade clause is off the table for now. Thus, it appears there's conflicting information surrounding this situation from all angles. Despite earlier reports suggesting Beal was considering other options, it seems we're now at a sort of impasse. However, the drama continues with rumors about other Phoenix Suns stars. Following Kevin Durant's decision not to sign a longer extension with the Suns, fans are speculating about his potential trade. Currently, KD is only signed for this season and the next, making him another trade asset, with the Suns likely eager to move him instead of risking his departure for nothing after next season. Among the swirling rumors, the most intriguing idea involves a return to his previous team, as the Golden State Warriors are dealing with their own challenges. A reunion with KD in the Bay Area would undoubtedly thrill fans everywhere. Just imagine KD and Steph joining forces again for one last championship run. If that doesn't materialize, another team that could look to trade for Durant is the Dallas Mavericks. They might consider offloading his old teammate Klay Thompson to pair him with Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. But before I discuss the last team I believe might be the best fit for him, I can't help but chuckle at the thought of KD ending up in Dallas. That he would indeed be playing for yet another Big Three. Still, the last significant team I believe would suit him well is the Houston Rockets. Yes, even if the speculations about reuniting him with Ime Udoka in Houston have been somewhat exaggerated, it still appears that Houston would be among the top trade partners for both teams. This is due to the fact that they could essentially give back to the Suns everything they lost in the trade for KD. In an interview just prior to the 2024 draft, a statement from W highlighted why this could be beneficial for Phoenix, especially regarding the repercussions of the Rockets acquiring the Suns' picks. Houston is aiming to trade for Kevin Durant, and that becomes much simpler if they can return the Suns' picks that they surrendered in the Durant trade to the Nets. The Suns have claimed they are holding on to Durant for the time being, but that could shift next season. Currently, Houston possesses the picks necessary to remedy the Suns' situation. As strange as it would be to see KD end up with another franchise, the Suns also have an alternative that doesn't require his involvement. It would indeed be disappointing to see him leave, yet the sole original member of the Suns' Big Three might also get transferred. The situation in Phoenix has deteriorated so much that Devin Booker is not even secure. It's rumored that a rising team has their sights on the $220 million shooting guard, with the San Antonio Spurs potentially swooping in to acquire him. Given that the Spurs are presently 18-19, this could provide them with a chance to create some impact this year. But it would also provide the new duo an opportunity to learn how to play together before next year and beyond continues. Who knows, it might be the motivation. The Spurs need to initiate a return to Western Conference supremacy regardless of what happens with the Suns and their unsuccessful Big Three. I believe we can all concur that it was a worthwhile attempt. No one can fault them for taking a big swing even if it didn't pan out. The key takeaway, though, is that with so many possibilities currently, and play only time will reveal who ultimately leaves and who remains. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments section below. Besides that, the NBA has never faced as many issues as it does now. I created an entire video on this topic before, and I'll include it in the end screen and explain why. I'll catch you guys later.